We'll now share my screen and start the presentation.
So, magsisimula na ang
We'll also turn on
presentasyon
the
ngayon.
interpretation channels. Give everyone a minute to select languages.
So, piliin niyo po ang inyong wika.
Hold on a second. Sorry, hold on. Okay. Okay, great. Good morning again.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Ito po ang town hall natin para sa plano ng transportasyon ng San Francisco. Ako din si Hunyo. Ako yung direktor na asistente. Nandito din ang iba nating pangkat ng SFTP, si Rachel Hyatt, Amy Thompson, si Amber Crabb, si Brittany Chen, at saka si Rebecca Banos Conde, at saka ang consultant natin si Emmy Kim.
Today, we're going to talk
Sa ngayon po,
through the
papag-usapan natin
SFTP
yung
plan in three
plano ng
sections.
SFTP.
The plan purpose,
Ito po yung
changes in travel
tatlong
patterns,
bahagi,
and
yung
long-range
pagbabago
investment
at saka
strategy.
yung
Then we'll
investment
like to
estratehiya.
discuss your priorities.
Pagkatapos nun, gusto natin pag-usapan ang inyong prioridad.
What is the
Ano
San
ba-
Francisco Transportation Plan?
Ano ba yung plano ng San Francisco Transportation?
Briefly, it is
Ito,
the 30-year investment
ito
plan for
yung
transportation
plano ng
revenues. It's one of the transportation
ang
authority's
isang
core responsibilities.
responsibilidad ng
SFTP is
transportation
coordinated as required
na
with the
koordinado
Regional
ito
Plan Bay Area.
dun sa Regional Plan Bay Area.
These are the goals we strive
Ito
to
ang mga
achieve through
layunin
the
na gusto
SFTP.
natin makamit sa
These
SFTP.
goals were developed together a few years ago.
Ito ay
working with
nangyari ito
SFMTA
dun
and
sa
the Planning
SFMTA
Department,
at saka dun sa
and
Department
with
ng Pagplano
significant community input.
at saka meron input, komento sa komunidad.
Our current effort is a focused update
Ito
driven by
ang
changes in
nakafocus
travel
na
trends
update.
and by reductions in
Magsisimula
revenue projections.
pagbawas ng kita.
engagement,
Nasa unang
seeking to
round tayo
hear
ng
your
sa
priorities
engagement
for
sa
the
publiko para
transportation
marinig natin ang
We'll
inyong
come
mga
back to
prioridad
you with
sa sistema ng
scenarios and
transportasyon.
options for consideration,
So mamaya
and the
papag-usapan
final
natin
report will be adopted
at saka
by
yung
the
pinakuling
Transportation
report
Authority
ay
Board.
makakamit ng Transportation Authority Board.
Next, we'll talk about the
Sunod,
present-day
papag-usapan natin
travel trends
yung
and
mga
needs.
mangyayari na sa paglalakbay o pagbabiyahe.
Here's a summary of how
Ito
things have
ang
changed over
buod
the
ng
last few
paano
years.
nagbago itong
The biggest change
mga
is the drop in
yung
travel.
pinakamalaking
41%
pagbabago
fewer
ay
trips to,
mas
from,
konting
and within San
pagbibiyahe
Francisco.
sa loob ng
And we
San
also see
Francisco
that regional
at
transit
nakita
trips are
natin
down.
yung mga biyahe
San
ng
Francisco's
regional ay
population and
bumaba
jobs
din,
have declined.
ay
We're
bumaba
clearly
na
in
ang
a
mga
downturn
trabaho, ang
momentum.
pagbiyahe.
However, we know
Pero
there are always ups
alam
and downs,
natin
and it's
na
important
pataas
that
at
we
pababa
do
at
the planning
importante na
now
gawin
for a
natin yung
healthy
plano
recovery.
ngayon para malusog ang paggagaling.
Many factors influence this
Maraming
drop in travel.
dahilan ay bumaba itong paglakbay at maraming
On a
nagtatrabaho sa
typical
bahay.
weekday, almost 3 times as many San Franciscans
Tatlong
work from
beses na
home
nagtatrabaho
as
sa
compared to
bahay
2019.
kaysa sa
How and where
2019.
people work is something we know is evolving.
Ito, alam
and
natin
we're following
na
this trend as it changes.
nag-evolve ito pag sinusunod natin ito habang nagbabago.
Here's more detail on how
Ito
people
pa ang mas
travel.
maraming detalye kung paano
Many people
nagbabiyahe
who
ang mga
used to
tao.
commute to work on transit
Yung
every
dati
day are now
nagko-commute sa
working from home
transportasyon ay
elsewhere,
nagtatrabaho sa
which
bahay,
has impacted transit
ay
ridership.
nakaapekto sa
The share of people taking transit has gone
transportasyon,
down, while
bumaba
the
na,
share of people driving alone
habang
has
yung
gone up.
nagtatrabaho ay tumaas din.
We also note that part of the
Alam din
reason for fewer
natin na
transit
yung
trips is that there was less
dahilan
transit
ay
service on the street in 2023
noong
than in 2019.
2023 kaysa sa 2019.
We investigated travel trends by
Ininvestigate natin
income
yung
group so we can
sa
understand how to
grupo ng
support our
income
most
para maintindihan
vulnerable
natin kung
residents.
paano natin
We
masusuporta ang
found the biggest changes in
pinakamulnerableng mga
travel
residensye,
behavior among the
yung
lowest income
pinamalaking
San Franciscans
pagbago
we
sa
defined here as
mahirap na
people
San
whose
Francisco
household
ay
income is
ito ay yung
$75,000 or less.
$75,000 na dolyar o mas
Since
mababa.
2019,
Mula noong
this
2019,
group started to
itong
drive
grupo
more,
ay
use
nagsimula sila sa
ride-hail
pagmaneho
services like Uber
at
and Lyft
gumagamit ng
more,
Uber at
and to
Lyft
walk and
din
take transit less.
at naglalakad sila.
We know through census
Alam natin
data
dun
that
sa
people
mga
in the
datos
lower
ng
income
census,
groups
yung
are much less
pinakamahirap
likely to work from
ay
home. So
hindi
it's
sila
even more
magtatrabaho sa
important
bahay
that
at
they have affordable
pinaka-importante ito na
transportation
meron silang
options
abot-kayang
and
mga
don't
opsyon
have to
ng
rely on a
transportasyon
car to get around.
at hindi nila kailangan
Our goal is for
magmaneho.
everyone to choose
Ang
their
layunin
most
namin ay
comfortable,
piliin yung
affordable option.
pinaka-komportable at pinaka-abot-kayang opsyon.
Another critical
Yung
issue
isa
that we're facing
pang
today is the
issue na
transit fiscal
critical ay
cliff.
ito yung
We're working
fiscal cliff ng
collaboratively with
transportasyon.
SFMTA on funding packages
Yung
through the
ginagamit natin
community-friendly
yung sa
working group to address
pagpapondo
munis needs.
dito
And we're also working
at
with
saka ginagamit din
MTC
natin
and
yung
other counties on
MTC
the
at
design
ibang
of a
county
potential
sa
regional measure to
pagdisenyo
address the issue.
para ma-address natin itong issue na
We all
ito.
know that there's
Alam din
significant risk
natin
of major service
na may
cuts if those
panganib
revenues do not
na
materialize in the near term.
mawawala itong serbisyo kung hindi ito mangyari dito.
However, because this
Pero
is a
kasi
long-range plan,
ito, mas mahaba
we
itong
assume that
plano
we
na
will find
ito,
solutions for this
makakahanap
immediate
tayo ng
crisis
solution dito sa
and that
krisis na
revenues will be
ito
available to
at
maintain
saka
transit service at
mm,
2023 levels.
sa mga atas ng 2023 ang pagpondo.
With all this updated data on travel
Yung lahat ng
trends, we
datos dito
forecast
sa
what the city
mga
will look like in
paglalakbay,
2050.
ito ang itsura ng
Our
lungsod sa
projections must
2050.
align
Ang
with those of
projection
the
natin
regional
ay
plan,
dapat
which forecasts more
sa
people and jobs in San
ay mas
Francisco and the
maraming
Bay
trabaho
Area.
at tao doon sa San Francisco at sa
So
buong
while
Bay
we
Area.
lost population
Kahit na
recently, we
bumaba
know
ang
San
populasyon
Francisco is
natin,
an
alam
attractive place to
natin
live and work. The
gustong
city has
pumunta at
bounced back
tumira at
from
magtrabaho
economic
sa San
downturns and
Francisco
even
at saka
major earthquakes.
gumaling
We
tayo mula doon
anticipate
sa
a
mga
healthy
lindol.
recovery, which is why we're
Sa tingin
planning
natin
for
malusog
future
ang paggaling
transportation
natin,
network
yun
to
ang
support
dahilan
a vibrant
para
city.
masuporta ang mas magandang lungsod.
Here's a comparison of
Ito
congestion
ang
in
pagkumpara
2023
ng
and
congestion sa
2050.
2023 at
Red
2050.
indicates where there are more
Ang
vehicles on the
pula,
roadways
ito ay
this
mas
decade.
maraming tao at
In
mga sasakyan
2050,
kaysa
without
sa
additional investment,
kung
the
walang
roadway network,
investment, yung
particularly the
network ng
freeways,
roadway
will be at or above capacity,
ay mas
meaning
mataas sa
more
kapasidad,
congestion and
ibig
slower
sabihin mas
speeds.
masikip at mas mabagal ang pagbiyahe.
You can see this
Nakikita
change on
nyo
the Bay
itong
Bridge and
pagbabago sa
Highway
Bay Bridge
101,
at saka sa Highway 101
where it
kung
becomes
dito
almost
ang
completely red in both directions, and we
pula
start to
sa
see
parehong
spots on the west
direction
side
at
get more
nakikita
congested.
natin ng mga
This requires attention because it
ito
impacts our
kailangan ng
ability to
atensyon
support economic
kasi
vitality,
maapektuhan ang
livability,
abilidad
and
natin
sustainability as a city and
ng isang
region.
lungsod at ng isang rehiyon.
Here's a comparison of
Ito pa
crowding
isang
on transit.
pagkumpara na
Here
pagsikip sa
too, without a shift in
transportasyon.
investment,
Kung hindi
buses and
magbago
trains
ang
will get more
ating
crowded.
investment, mas
Crowded
pasikip
transit is
ang mga
uncomfortable, of course,
transportasyon,
and it contributes
hindi
to delays
komportable
and
at may
unreliability,
contribution
which in turn
at
impact
ito ay makakaapekto
economic
ito
vitality,
dun
livability, and
sa
equity of our city.
ekalidad ng ating lungsod.
In all,
Sa
if our
lahat,
travel patterns continue as they
kung
are,
tumuloy ang
without
ating
further
patterns
investments,
natin at saka
our
walang ibang
transportation network will
investments,
not function well, and
hindi
we fall
na
further from our goals like safety, livability, and equity.
Ang
We
ating
need to
equidad,
invest in our systems
kailangan tayo
to
mag-invest sa
make
ating
make a system in
sistema
place where everyone can travel
para pwede
whatever mode
magbiyahe
they
ang lahat ng
choose
tao
comfortably and
sa
safely.
yung pinakakomportable at pinakamaligtas.
Now we'll shift to the
Sa
investment
ngayon,
strategy
ito
to
ang
address these
estratehiya
priorities.
ng investment natin para maharap natin itong mga hamon.
Overall, we're
Sa
expecting
lahat,
a
ang
12%
inaasahan
drop in
natin
revenues
na
over the
pababa
next
ng
30 years.
12% sa
We expect
pagkita
revenues from
itong
federal, state, and regional
at saka
sources to
yung
remain about the same.
kita sa
The current
estado at
administration
federal
is
ay
creating a
pareho.
lot of uncertainty, but we'll
Itong
maintain these
administrasyon ay hindi
projections over the
tayo
long term.
sigurado pero ito ang mga projection
Where
natin
we see
sa
significantly lower
katagalan.
revenues is locally in San
Kung
Francisco
saan
and
natin nakikita
Hunyo.
ay lokal ay nakikita
San
natin
Francisco is lagging in
ang San
recovery as
Francisco
compared
ay
to the region
bababa
because
kaysa
we've
sa
been hit
buong rehiyon
particularly hard by the work from
kasi
home trends
yung
and the
mas
resulting drop in
marami ay
transit
nagtatrabaho
ridership
sa
and
bahay
revenue.
at bumaba yung
We do want
nagsasakay
to
sa
note here that we
transportasyon.
are
Gusto natin
including some new
isulat
revenues
ito.
from
Meron tayong
potential
bagong
ballot
kita
measures in this investment
sa
plan.
mga balota na
Those
dito
are
sa
shown
plano
with the
na
blue
ito.
hatch.
Total nakikita
And
natin
again, these
sa
projections are
asul.
consistent with the
Itong mga
regional
projection
projections.
ay pantay ito sa projection ng rehiyon.
Our investment plan is now
Ang plano natin
expected to be
pag-investment ay
approximately
ito ay
$70 billion.
magiging
Most of this,
70
about 60
billion na
billion,
dolyar.
is committed to
Ang
specific
60
projects or
billion ay
uses, and roughly 10 billion is
pinangako
discretionary.
ito ay discretionary. Ang
In
10
addition,
billion na
we
dolyar.
continue to show approximately
Karagdagan
15
dito,
billion for the
makikita
vision
natin
plan.
ng 15 billion para sa
Vision
plano ng
plan
vision.
funds are potential new
Itong
funds we can see
pondo
over
ng
30
vision plan
years.
ay makikita natin
These
sa
could be new revenues
sunod
from
na
other
30
sources,
taon.
potentially
Maari
future
ito sa
ballot measures,
ibang
private
magpunan,
contributions, or other
sa
sources.
pribadong
We
contribution
want
at
to
iba
prepare
pa.
for how we would use these
Gusto
new
natin
funds
maghanda
to
kung
improve
paano
our
natin
transportation
gagamitin itong
future.
pondo para sa ating transportasyon.
Given lower revenue projections, we need
Ito,
to
mas mababang
adjust our investment
projection.
plan.
Gusto natin i-adjust ang ating
Following
plano
the region's
pag-investment.
approach, we first prioritize transit operations
Ito
to maintain
ang
2023
prioritasyon ng
service levels.
2023 ng
This is the biggest category of
ito ang
spending,
pinakamataas ng
over 60% in our plan.
60% sa ating plano.
Second,
Yung
then we
pangalawa,
fund maintenance projects for
meron tayong
transit
mga
and
proyekto
railways
ng
to keep
maintenance
buses
para sa
running and
mga
roads
para
free of
tumakbo ang mga
potholes.
bus at
By
walang
keeping
potholes
facilities and equipment in a state of good
para
repair,
mas
we
maayos
support
ang
useful
mga
life and save money in the long term.
para
We could
tumitipid
spend
tayo
every
ng
dollar we
pera.
have on these two categories. However, we reserve some
Pero
discretionary
meron
funds for
tayong
spending
mga
in
i-reserve
other
na
categories.
sa paggasto sa ibang kategorya.
So here are the other
So ito
major
po yung
categories
iba
of
pang mga
investments. I'll
kategorya
just
ng
flip
mga
through these
investment.
quickly.
Titignan natin
This is
ito na
safe and complete
mabilis.
streets, projects
Ito
like
yung
traffic calming,
kumpletong
daylighting,
sa
and improve
pag-araw at
pedestrian
saka mas
improvements to
magandang
improve safety and livability.
para ma-improve ang kaligtasan.
Major transit projects.
Ito mga malalaking
includes
proyekto
major
ng
transformational
transportasyon.
projects like the portal
Kasama
and
dito
capacity
yung sa
improvements for
Poro
Muni and
at
BART.
yung pagbubuti
These
ng
projects improve
kapasidad
and expand
katulad
our
ng
overall
Muni at
transit
BART.
network and make it easier to get
Lumalaki ang
around.
ating network at mas madali na maglakbay dito.
Freeway management.
Ito ang
This includes projects that
ng
address
freeway.
safety and operations without
Ito ang
adding
sa
capacity. Projects might include
yung mga proyekto ay
redesigns of
kasama dito yung
interchanges
pagdisenyo
or
ng mga
study of
interchange
HOV
at
lanes,
saka yung
ways to help people
pagkita ng HOV
move more
lanes para
efficiently.
makita natin para mas mahusay ang pagbibiyahe.
This category also includes
Ito
projects
ang
that help
kategorya
protect
din
our transportation infrastructure against the effects
para
of
sa
climate change.
transportasyon, para sa mga epekto ng pagbabago ng klima.
Finally, the
Sa wakas,
transportation system
itong
management and planning
sistema ng
category funds a
transportasyon at
variety of
kategorya
measures that
ay
help us achieve our
nagpopondo.
goals. It includes planning
Kasama
efforts,
dito ang
both
mga
citywide and at the neighborhood level,
pagpaplano dun sa
especially in
buong
densely
lungsod
crowded
at
urban
buong neighborhood,
communities.
lalo na sa
Climate-related
komunidad.
projects like
Ay may mga
electrification
proyekto sa pagkuryente,
and
no?
education and travel
At
incentive
saka yung
programs to get
mga
more people to
programa
choose
ng incentive
transit,
para
biking, or walking.
pumili ng transportasyon o
The fourth bucket
pagbisikleta
in
o
this
paglakad.
category is what we call
Yung
system
ika-apat,
management
ito yung
technologies,
pagmamanage ng
making our system
sistema
more efficient, more
para mas
user-friendly, and
mahusay at
affordable.
mas
This is a
maabot
fairly
kaya ang
small
ating
category, but
sistema.
it's
Maliit
cost-effective
ito
in
at
terms of
pero
making our transportation system more
mahusay ang
equitable,
paggamit ng
safer, and
gastos
supportive of
para
economic growth.
maligtas.
Next,
Sa ngayon,
we invite everyone to open up the
ikukubili
survey we
natin
just
kayo.
posted in the
Buksan nyo yung
chat,
survey na
or we'll post in the chat.
o
The
nasa
versions in
chat.
English,
Itong version na
Spanish,
ito ay
Cantonese,
nasa
and
English,
Filipino.
Filipino,
There are
Incheck at
3 short
Espanyol.
questions about what you've heard,
Tatlo ang narinig
and
na
we're
ninyo.
hoping everyone will
At saka
fill out the
sana
survey so we
ipila pa
can hear
ninyo
from
itong
all of you.
survey para marinig natin kayong lahat.
Okay, there are the links.
Ito ang mga links.
So we're trying to reach as many people as possible in this round of outreach. Please share the survey information with your
Survey
friends
sa
and
impormasyon
family.
sa mga kaibigan
We'll use
ninyo.
all of the feedback we get to shape
At
our
saka
draft
ito ang
investment
feedback ninyo
scenarios,
dito sa
which we'll share
scenario.
publicly in our next round of outreach. So thank you so much for joining today. We'll stop
Sa
the
inyo.
interpretation function now
Tapos
and
na
bring
ang
everyone into one
interpretasyon.
channel for questions. I see there are already a couple of questions in the chat.
Main room. Oh, are we back?
Yes,
Okay.
great.
好，
So
我諗大家一齊翻到嚟呢度啦嘛。Okay, everybody's back.
yes. So I don't see any questions in the Q&A. There was a question about what the revenue projections included, which Amy answered. Please, anyone, if you have questions, I think you can either put them in the chat or use the little raise hand function. Cyrus.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was filling out the survey, so I was a little distracted there. I just had a couple. I probably already know the answer, so I just want to see. The first question is 2023 the right index year for planning to 2050? We've seen a lot of growth in transportation in general over the last year as we continue to come out of the pandemic, and it just strikes me that we're seeing a lot of bus pass-ups, especially on commute days now, and it just doesn't seem like 2023 level of service is the right target for this study. So I'm curious what your approach to that is moving forward.
Yeah, thank you. We are doing, this is
So
the sort of
ito
the plus
ang
sign. This is our kind of a minor update.
parang
And
pagbabago
so we're
ito
using
na
the
maliit. So
information,
ginagamit natin yung
that we have,
impormasyon.
the most complete information we
Ito
have right now.
pinakakumpleto
So
na
that
impormasyon
is for
natin.
2023.
Para sa
Our model
2023
was
ito,
calibrated,
ang
with,
modelo natin,
results of the
ang mga resulta ng household travel survey na ginawa natin noong 2023.
As we acknowledge, things are changing and conditions even in the last couple of years have changed.
Ito
And we will
nagbago.
be doing another major update
So
after
meron
this,
tayong bagong update
where
pagkatapos
we
nito.
will, update sort of the baseline. But we are required to, sort of stay in alignment with the Plan Bay
So
area
ito yung
regional
alignment
plan.
natin sa Plan Bay
2023 is
area.
the
So
baseline
ang
year for that.
2023 itong baseline na taon para sa ganun.
know if you had any follow-up
Sabihin niyo kung
questions.
meron
I thought
kayong
I saw
follow-up ng
another hand,
katanungan.
but,
Akala ko meron akong ibang nakita.
And we can sort of pause if you are
So, pwede
filling out
nating
the
i-pause
survey, if you have
ito
any
kung
questions about the survey,
fill out kayo ng
questions
survey,
or
kung meron
answers.
kayong mga katanungan sa survey.
Happy to discuss those as well.
Masaya ako na papag-usapan natin ito kung ganun.
And as this is Rachel Hyatt, I'm the
Ito si
Deputy
Rachel
Director
Hyatt.
of
Ito,
People
ato
Planning
yung
here at
direktor ng DepEd
SFTPA.
dito sa
And I just wanted to
SFTPA.
offer for
Gusto ko
folks
dong
who
para
may
sa
not
mga
have questions
maaari kung
necessarily,
walang
we
katanungan,
would also welcome
gusto din
if you
i-welcome ko
wanted to
ito
provide
kung
us a
gusto niyo
comment
magbigay ng
about
komento
any of the questions
tungkol sa mga
that
katanungan
are posed in the survey. Sort of
na
what
nangyari
would
sa
be your
survey, kung ano ba ang prioridad
priorities
ninyo.
for the long-range plans investment scenario? If you just want to make a comment,
Kung gusto niyo lang
we're
magkomento,
welcome you to provide that as well.
magbigay kayo ng komento din.
I'm going to read
So, babasahin ko yung meron follow-up si Cyrus. Naintindihan ko yung 2023. Ito yung baseline para sa model ng region. Meron bang ibang proseso sa pagpaplano sa mga layunin, hindi lang ang baseline? Oo. Yung sunod na hakbang sa trabaho natin ay sinusubukan natin na matanggap natin yung feedback sa komunidad tungkol sa mga prioridad. Dun sa mga investment, sunod na hakbang ay para merong mga senaryo.
So what I presented today is kind
Itong
of where
presenta
we are
ko
today
ay
and
nandito
what it might
tayo
look like without
ngayon
investment in
kung ang itsura kung walang
2050.
investment sa
So the next
2015.
step is to put
Ang
together
sunod na
scenarios
hakbang
for how we
ay
would
ang mga
address
senaryo
these needs
kung
to
paano natin
try to advance, to meet our goals.
para
And so that is
makamit
the
natin
work
ang ating
that
layunin.
we will
So yun ang
bring
trabaho
back
na
to you
ginawa natin o
probably in
binigay sa
this winter.
inyo sa itong taglamig.
Yeah, and as Rachel mentioned,
Oo, itong binanggit
doesn't have to be a
ni
question. If you have
Rachel,
any
hindi.
comments
Kung meron
or
kayong mga komento,
observations, we're happy to take those too.
pwede natin tanggapin din yun.
And there's a comment, 2023 levels are good, but will never be enough in the future. Understood.
Intindihan ko.
Mr. Batutis, when you say 2023 levels are good but will never be enough, do you mean
Ang ibig niyo sabihin,
transit service levels? But do let us know if we understood that right.
Kung yun ang pag-intindi natin.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will just sort of hang out here
So, nandito lang tayo
uh, for maybe 10 minutes while you
mga 10 minuto
look at the
habang
survey
tinitingnan
or
yung survey.
marinate. I'm happy to share the slides back.
Kung
if you
gusto,
want to go
ipapakita ko
back
yung
and
mga
look at
slides
it.
ulit. Kung gusto nyo
And
tignan
I
yun
see
ulit.
there's a comment. Someone says,
Meron
I
isang
would love to see investment
komento.
in major transit projects.
Ang
That's
gusto
the
kong
kind of
investment sa
comment,
mga...
yeah, that we're looking for. Thank you for the
Oo, salamat.
Quick question, Alice, do you want to go ahead?
Merong katanungan. Alice, gusto mo bang tumuloy?
Alice, if you're speaking.
Alice, kung nagsasalita
Hi,
ka.
no, I
Okay,
had
great.
to wait to be unmuted. Thank you.
Oh, salamat.
In a similar vein, I'd love to see
Yung
investment
pareho
in
din,
transit
gusto ko ng
projects
investment
between
sa
the
mga
Philippines
proyekto
and
ng
Richmond.
transportasyon
I
dun
think
sa
that's like two areas that it's very
itong
difficult to get
dalawang
between on
lugar
transit and
na
with the Curie
mahirap dun sa transportasyon
general Curie 19th
at
corridor.
saka
I think
dun
that would be
sa
incredible, but
koridor,
also
mas
investments
maganda
in the
yun.
18 and the 29
At
to
saka sa
continue
18 at
to build
29 para mas mabuti
particularly
yun,
the 18
lalo
would
na
be,
yung
I think, really
18
impactful on these neighborhoods.
ay makakaapekto sa mga
Great,
kapitbahayan
thank
na
you.
ito.
That's
Salamat.
specific.
O, magandang
And I
komento
don't know if
yun.
Rachel or Amy, would
Hindi
you
ko
think you'd
alam
like to
kung gusto nyong ituloy, Emmy, Rachel,
provide a little more about
na
what we're doing
magbigay
on the
ng
west side?
ginagawa natin sa west side.
Yes,
Oo,
certainly.
oo.
This is Rachel
So,
Hyatt,
ito si
the
Rachel Hyatt
Deputy
ito.
Director for Planning.
Ito,
We
Director ng
are
Pagpaplano. Kami
looking
ay
especially at
iintindi natin,
travel
lalo
and
na
needs on the west side because
yung
we
sa
know that
west
the
side
west
kasi
side
alam
has
natin yung west
its
side
own particular
meron
set of
isang
needs
mga
that might be different from the city
hanay
overall.
na mga kinakailangan.
So we have
So,
looked
meron tayong
in more
tinignan natin
detail
na
at
mas
some of the
maraming
needs that have
detalye
already been identified
yung
for planning on the west side
na-identify na sa
and
pagpaplano
combined
sa
that
west
with
side.
this new data
At saka,
and
meron
are
tayong bagong
very interested
datos.
in
At interesado kami sa
your perceptions of
inyong
needs now on the west
perception
side and
sa ngayon sa
priorities
west
for
side at
investment
inyong
on
mga
the west side.
prioridad
And
sa
we will
investment sa
highlight
west side
those for our board
at i-highlight natin yun para sa
in this
ating
process.
pagpupulong dito sa proseso na ito.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for that. And I
Oo,
think anything
salamat
we
sa
can do
ganun kasi
to
lahat ng magagawa
improve transit
natin
on the west
para
side and make
bumuti
it
ang
easier to get
transportasyon
places
sa west
without
side para
using a
mas
car would be huge because I do think
kung
a lot
walang
of
kotse ay
the
malaking
primary
bagay
foot
yun.
traffic in the city comes
Kasi
from
yung
the
mga
west side, and I
trapiko ay
hope to
galing sa west side
be
at
able to
gusto
reduce that and
kong
make it easier to take transit.
bawasan
But
yun
like, you know,
para
if the 18
kung sa
bunches up and makes up
18
every 30 minutes, that doesn't make
sa
it a good option. If
pero
it's
hindi
like an
magandang
hour to get
option
downtown
at
on the
masyadong
7 for
matagal
me,
yung downtown sa
I'd really
7
love to
sa
see these
akin.
options be improved.
Gusto ko makita yun na mas ipabuti
Thank
yung mga
you.
option na yun.
And
Salamat.
we very
At
much
meron din
see
kaming
that need,
nakita
that
din namin
the need that
yung
you're describing, both for east-west
dinescribe nyo
transit
sa
travel
Mhm.
and
east-west sa
especially
pagbiyahe
north-south
ng
transit travel.
transportasyon,
Yes, we're
lalo
very,
na
yes,
sa
we hear that
norte at
loud and
sur,
clear. Yeah,
narinig namin yun.
Great. Thank you.
Salamat. Salamat.
There's a comment about service
Meron
bias in
nagkomento
transit
tungkol
seems to
sa
be overplayed in some areas, and I'm wondering if, Dean, you might
kung
um,
maaari mong
elaborate on that a little bit. Just
ibahin yun o lawak ang sinasabi mo.
Cha.
Hi, this is Alice again. I'd be
Si Alice
super
ito ulit.
curious to hear what kind of
Nagtataka
comments
ko
people were
tungkol sa
making
mga
in the
komento
previous
na
open house session you
yung dati
held.
sa mga open house.
Were they very similar? Were there differences?
Pareho ba o may mga diferensya ba?
Thank you for that question.
Salamat sa katanungan na yun.
There were a few
May mga
questions about
katanungan
why
kung bakit
we're not sort of doing more
hindi
to
natin ginagawa ang mas marami para
driving.
mag-facilitate ang
I thought that was one of
pagmaneho.
the more interesting
Akala
questions.
ko yung itong interesadong mga
And I think
katanungan.
our response there
Ang
was
tanong natin, ang
that
sagot
we're
namin
trying to improve
ay paano
the
nating
transportation system
ibago
and
ang
balance it
sistema ng
more.
transportasyon para mas
We
may
are a transit
balanse.
first city, and we would
Transit
like
first
to
tayong
make sure
lungsod. Ang
transit is just as
gusto
convenient and
na
affordable
mas
and
abot
competitive
kaya at
as
saka
driving is.
competitive ang
And
pagmamaneho.
as we saw with the
Yung nakita
congestion
natin
map,
dun sa
there's
mapa
only
ng
so much roadway
congestion,
space in the city, and so we can't
hindi natin
we
kayang
can't kind of build our way out of the congestion, and we
yung
need
sa
to be able to move
pagsisikip
more people more
at saka
efficiently. So
dapat
we have a freeway network
meron tayong
study.
network sa freeway na
We're
pag-aaral.
looking at ways to
Doon natin
sort of make those roadways more efficient,
para mas mahusay yung mga daan
we're also trying to
at
improve
saka
transit
para
service,
bumuti din
making it
ang
more
transportasyon
reliable, and
para mas
doing sort of
maasahan
low cost
at saka
improvements
mas
that
mababa
would
ang
improve
gastos para
reliability. So
ma-improve
address
ang
things like bus bunching,
reliability.
as
Ang
was
bus
in the
bunching,
comment.
yun ang nakasulat sa komento.
And we're also,
At saka meron din
that last
tayong
category
yung
of spending that I
pinakahuling
talked about,
kategorya.
has
Ito
programs
ay
to make
may
transit
programa
more
ng
affordable
mas
and
abot kaya
convenient. So
ang
I think that
transportasyon.
was a good question that we had last
So
time.
magandang katanungan yun sa huling beses.
I think there were,
Tsaka sa tingin ko, meron din komento tungkol sa ano ba sinasabi ko?
I don't know if Rachel, I think
Ano, Rachel,
actually
sa
I
tingin
see now
ko,
in the
nakikita ko
in the
sa
comment about
komento
congestion
ay
pricing,
yung sa
there were
congestion
questions about whether
pricing. May mga
we're
katanungan kung
assuming
tungkol sa iniisip natin yung mga kita sa congestion pricing at saka yung sagot doon ay yung congestion pricing natin sa downtown ay hininto kasi wala tayong ginagawa sa ganun ngayon. Pero yung plano na katagalan sa buong rehiyon at saka San Francisco ay meron daw nakasulat dun sa pagpapresyo na maraming dapat gawin na mga approval. So ito hindi na malapit na termino ng mapapagkunan ng kita. Salamat sa inyong komento tungkol sa
congestion pricing being
sa pagpapresyo ng congestion na inaaral ito.
Are we still considering
Iniisip pa ba
closing
natin
the
na
subway
isasarado yung
early
subway na
this
maaga
summer? It
itong
seems like a
summer?
very poor idea when we're
Parang
trying to get
masamang
more
ideya
people to
ito
come
kung gusto
downtown.
natin pumunta sa downtown.
The arts organizations are more than happy
Ang
to
organisasyon
supply content,
na
but if
magbigay ng
everybody has
content,
to go home at 9 o'clock,
pero
it sort
kung
of defeats
dapat
the
umuwi
purpose.
ng alas 9,
yes,
oo,
I
ako
I'm
ay
not sure what is being planned should the fiscal cliff come to pass. I don't know if Amber knows better. The only change I know that is being scheduled to take effect at I think sometime in June is that some of the bus lines will terminate at Market Street.
Thank you.
And this is Amber. My understanding is that there's still SFMTA is still discussing options as well as actively seeking funding for
So ito may
the fiscal
pagpupondo dun sa
cliff,
fiscal
resolving
cliff
that
sa pagresolba nitong sunod na taon.
This is Rachel Hyatt again. When we report back to our board after this phase of our work, we will share the overall summary of what we have learned and heard from these events and from discussions we're having with neighborhood organizations during this time and the survey results.
Saka
So we
itong
will
survey.
present all of those summaries of what we hear during this outreach phase to our board, and that will of course also be
So sa board natin, available din
everyone
ito
to see
para sa lahat
the conclusions of our outreach and what we
sa conclusion ng outreach natin.
Actually, to I think Alice's question,
Sa ito kay Alice
you
at ito
are
ay
really into it.
kung
The
kayo ay
recording of the last
itong
town
recording
hall
ng town
is
hall
on our
ninyo.
website or will be shortly, along with the recording of this session.
Ito ng
So,
recording itong session na ito ay
it's
ito
available
ay
for you to listen.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that.
salamat sa pag-share nito. Oo.
Okey-doke. I think we've lost a few people. We are, I think, going to thank
So,
you
sa
for your
ngayon,
time again.
salamat sa inyong
I
panahon.
wanna also thank our
Gusto ko din
interpreters,
magpasalamat
George,
sa aming
Dennis, and
tagapagsaling si
Elizabeth,
George, Dennis, at
for
Elizabeth
helping this morning.
sa pagtulong nitong umaga na ito.
Please do fill in the survey
If
and
gawin
tell
nyo yung
all your friends
survey,
and
sabihin
family
nyo
to
sa
do
lahat ng mga
so.
kaibigan nyo, gawin din yun.
If you have any community groups you're associated with, we're happy to come
Kung meron
to
kayong
your
grupo ng
meetings.
komunidad, pwede kaming pumunta sa
And
meeting ninyo.
feel free
At saka,
to email us with any questions
pakisabi
that
ng
might
email kung meron kayong
come
mga
to you
katanungan
afterwards.
na
And,
maiisip
I think
ninyo
we'll-
pagkatapos
the
nito.
survey links are in the
Pagkatapos nun, yung mga
chat.
survey links nasa chat na ngayon.
And I think that's it.
Sa ngayon, yun lang.
Thank you all for
Salamat sa inyong
your
lahat.
Saturday morning.
Sa inyong Sabado. Salamat.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Sure. Bye-bye.